So let's put one more tiny thing. So what I've put on the board, I think you've all noticed, is a very rough outline of the steps. So the steps on the left, in what position, and then at least one possibility, maybe two, of what the question might be, or a statement, or whatever it is. So we'll just add one more thing to the bottom. Now, this is actually an FI template that that Larry teaches. I think it's, maybe he teaches it in the Finding the Feet. I can't remember where I got it from anyway. In trainings all the time. That's right. Yes, that's right. So there's a lot more to it than just those moves, but I've taken out a lot of the other stuff and just given you a few things. So this is like the first approximation of giving somebody a little FI, right? So you've started with an observation. You've started with a few little test moves. You've asked the person to lie down. You do some explorations and or questions and or suggestions, and then you're going to get them to stand up. Now, this lesson, because it is a template, is you've been kind of doing all this going with the pattern of the leg that's more organised as a standing leg and the leg that's more organised as a sort of a jiggly leg. So you've been standing, jiggle, jiggle. In this structure of the lesson, for the first sort of 2/3, you spend 2/3 of the lesson doing that, like going with the pattern. And for the last third of the lesson, you actually swap over and you do the standing kind of manipulons on what was the jiggly leg, and the jiggly kind of stuff on what was the standing leg. Yep. Yes. So today, though, so I'm just giving you the whole thing of the lesson. So that's what the whole lesson looks like. So what's on the board would be like the 2/3. And then for the last third, you do the thing on the mirror side, flipped over. So today, you will do all of it flipped over. Not the whole lesson, just the flip. Just all of that on the other side. I don't think I've explained it very well. That's okay, right. So all of that on the board on the other side. Now, in the full lesson, as I said, there's lots of other bits, including pushing through C7, T1, and so on. So all I'll do today before is to add in something with the head, because it can't be Feldenkrais if you always stay in one spot as a practitioner. That's just not on. We'd fail you. No, we wouldn't. So the thing that you're going to add, can I borrow you, Nina? Just want to lie on this one with your head up this end, on your back. So you've sat at the head end and looked to see where her head is. Is her head kind of more over one leg than the other? You remember that from a couple of days ago. So now you're going to just add in this little thing, which you've done before, of rolling the head. I think you've rolled the head. So feeling that your hand is kind of there. Now this is, Jane, when you really want to feel that you make contact with the skin and the skull, and to feel that when you roll, actually the skin will roll a little bit first and then the head. So it's actually slightly different because you're not pushing through, but you're just doing that level of engagement. So you don't want to engage. And because I can't get behind the direction of movement now, I'm having to organise myself and keep it a small movement. But I am trying to at least get my arm in the direction, so I'm not, doing that, because that would be weird. But I am kind of rolling so that she feels like I'm not going to limit her. And there'll be a little bit of a weight shift. So this is a question of which side do you roll the most easily? And where in you rolls your head? Like, where's the roll happening? So obviously the head is moving in which joints? So for her, obviously in her neck. Now also for her, can you see the plane of her face is a little bit that way? So what I would like is, can you just throw me that pad? And just, oh yeah. Is you can roll the person's head when the plane is how they are on the floor, and then you can bring them so that the plane of the face is more in line with, is parallel to the floor, and then roll again. That probably helps her roll easily that way. Now, if I'm not sure that I'm better at pulling than pushing, which could be true, then you can swap hands. So I still think she probably rolls that way a bit easier, and it's easier when her head's up. But that might not be true. It might not be her experience. And I'm rolling her small, so I'm seeing it sort of staying mostly in her neck. I don't know what she's feeling, though. She might be feeling it all the way down to her toes. Who knows? And then, after I've answered that question, what does that tell me? It tells me how available her head is, and it gives me an idea about her tonus up this end of her. And so some of you do actually rotate towards your standing leg or rotate away, like that's where you are. The other thing that people do is that they'll shift more that way over their standing leg. So you'll see lots of different combinations. So now you're going to do something a little bit weirder, which is scoop the head up. Now Zoran very cunningly gave you this to do with no preamble. Made me hold my breath, because there's usually this big drama about lifting the head in Feldenkrais trainings, and everyone gets really nervous about it, and he just made you do it on your own. It's fantastic. Sorry? Did you? So sorry, I stopped talking. So one way to do it is you actually come in like this with your thumbs, and your thumbs wedge underneath, and then when you turn your hand up, cunningly, the rotation of your hand lifts the head up enough and you can pop your fingers underneath. Voila. It is like that. No, it's Feldy technique. It's patented. So I've got a cradle now for the whole head. My intention here is to ask her, which side does your head translate to? So it's not a rotation. It's not a side bend. It's not a flexion and extension. It's a translation, which is a double whammy. I'll show you on the skeleton. I'm going to lift up her head slightly and move it that way. And then that way. Yep, it is. So I'll tell you. I just can't do and talk at the same time at the moment. So I've got a translation is a direct slide. So actually what's happening, if I look at the skeleton, he won't do it necessarily. If you look over here, I'm coming in here, my thumbs lift and and I've got this beautiful cradling, and I'm going to lift the head up a bit and slide it. So what happens in a real person is that there's a little bit of side bending up the top and a little bit of side bending down the bottom. He won't do it because he's got a rod in his back, and then it's that way. Yep. So that he doesn't roll. That's rotation. He doesn't side flex only, which is that. It's the line. This line stays and moves that way, and then you come back, and this line stays and goes over that hip and comes back. So there's actually a double side bend in the. It's the Indian. It's that Indian. I'm sliding on the back of my hands. Yep. If I lift really high, it'll be up here, and then his head will be really heavy, and you'll get more that. But if I keep it low, it's that. Now his chest's sliding more than Nina's will. Yep. So if I come back to Nina, I'll do it again on Nina. Oh. Yes. Yes. So see the way my hand makes a bowl? It perfectly matches the bowl of her head. We are designed to make a head bowl. He didn't know that. He wouldn't have one because he wouldn't have a brain to make a head bowl. So we've come back. So it's not a big movement, and it's easier to the right for me. What do you feel? Now it's not that or that. It's not that. It's not that or that. They're all the possibilities. It's tiny. So actually you can see what my hands are doing is a bit of that to keep her at the line of her face. It's not that. Come and look behind me. It is only translation. I rolled first, didn't I? Yeah. So I rolled first.
She's not going to cut you in half. She's a kind building.
Yeah, close my eyes.
Yep. So to keep her head, and you'll feel it. The thing is, you'll feel it. In order to have that idea of that shifting, you actually have to kind of push that heart side more to keep it in line. Then you come back and you have to push that side a bit more to keep it in line. But you'll feel it. Don't overthink it. Feel it. No brain, just feel. From my bum. Yeah. Because if I lift up with here, so if I can't do it because I've got a skirt on today. Stupid, ran out of clothes. Anyway, if I didn't move my bum like that, and I just lifted her like that and did it with her, well, I'm just all over the shop. I don't like it. I can't even do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to make a mistake with somebody's head. So slide over your eggs. When I get my little boys to practice sitting like this, your heels are like eggs, and you've got to slide over your eggs a bit because you're a chook. So slide over your eggs. What? Sliding over your eggs? Yeah. Well, you've done lessons like this, haven't you? Oh, haven't you? Haven't done them yet. Oh. All right, go and do it. So what are you doing? You are looking, same person, looking, standing leg, not weight shift, down like that, all of this stuff. Now, instead of doing it on the standing leg, you're going to snuggle up and give the standing question and information to the non-standing leg, and you're going to give the jiggly information to the standing leg. And at some point in there, you're going to slide the head left and right. Roll first and then translate. Clear?